Hello, everybody. It's Mio here. Today I'm going to be working with our Mediumship Development deck in preparation for on the 19th of every month, we have a mediumship workshop that's virtual. It is free or pay what you can. Nothing's ever expected. We just want you to join, have a place to practice. We always need volunteers, so if you want to jump on, we meet via Zoom. The link is at soulsandstardustpodcast.com. And like I said, jump on via Zoom. You don't even have to show your face, even just the audio is fine. Or if you just want to send a photo in and you can't attend, you can just message it to me and we can do a reading and send you the little video link when we're done. And it's all for practice and allowing people to have a space to connect, and it's safe and it's low pressure. It's just hanging out, and I'm there to help guide. Oops. It's backwards. Or am I just seeing another word couple? Okay. I was like, am I seeing things? Make sure. Nope. What did I do? Sorry. I have to skip past all of this. Okay. So during our workshops, I just explain how information comes through for me. Comes through like little clues, hints when I'm tapping into somebody. Usually I'll start seeing signs everywhere, or people will start talking and saying something, and it has to do with like whatever person's energy that I'm in or feeling. And then it comes through as like flashes of insight, knowing. Sometimes you can feel it in your body. Sometimes it's just paying attention and listening to the things people around you are saying, or lyrics in a song, or what the TV just said, and you're like, oh my God, that has to do with like what I'm, focusing on. So let's see what our first mediumship development, like what we want to focus on today. I was just saying that. Spirit often communicates through symbols. What do you hear? What do you see, hear, or feel? So what you're going to want to do is just set your intention. Take a deep breath, kind of exhale. And in your mind, you can use whatever visual technique is going to work best for you. You can do a radio where you're like, okay, I turn down, I'm turning the volume down on my own inner thoughts, opinions, and filter. And I'm going to allow spirit to come forward and deliver a message. And this is like, you can choose who you want to try to tap into, whether it's somebody that you know, or if you're trying to tap in for somebody else and it's just, you're practicing like with a photo or whatever. Just take a couple of minutes and see what happens and observe the world around you and see what kind of signs come through. See what draws your attention, where you could just be glancing around and all of a sudden you look over and there's a word that catches your eye, or a color, or a shape, an animal, a repeating song, a repeating pattern, and just take note of it. Sometimes it'll come through like charades, or you're just getting little bits and pieces of a puzzle, and then later on is take notes, journal it, or share it for feedback if you're working with somebody that you've already got permission to. And just say, hey, these are the signs that I got. Are any of these significant? And don't worry about being wrong, just ask. So this one says physical mediumship. So sit with a candle or a pendulum. I'm not great with pendulums, but if you're going to do a candle, just make sure there's no fans or the AC is off. And that way it's just sitting in stillness. And while you're sitting with this candle, just control yourself, control your breathing, control your thoughts, get into a meditative state. Sometimes you can just stare into it. It doesn't have to be a candle. If you have a fire pit or fireplace, just get into that meditative state and ask questions in your mind, whatever it is, and just ask, okay, come and influence, take the energy of this flame or this candle and influence it. Just show me your existence. Show me you're here. Just give me a sign. Use your senses. So, which of your intuitive senses is strongest, or are strongest? I guess I could have put. Some people struggle with visualizing. Some people don't want to feel anything. Some hear things like clairaudiently. You just have to take what you're naturally drawn to and gifted at and see what's the natural pull. Now, when you're tapping into spirit, when you're like in somebody's energy specifically, they will also communicate. What I've noticed is like how well they communicated in life is kind of how well they communicate in death as well. And meaning I've had people who are super duper quiet people in real life. They're not going to come through like, hey, life of the party, right? They show you their personality in different ways. And you just have to be trusting enough to know and not second guess yourself or doubt or brush it off, right? I've seen people do that where they're like, oh, this happened, or I felt this, but I didn't think it had to. It's like, okay, no. If that's what's coming through while you're tapped into that person's energy, like, trust it. The other intuitive senses, so some people will taste or smell things. The smell thing is not, like, for myself personally, it's only happened a handful of times, and it's been very interesting. I smelled like my grandfather's soap, and it happened to be like on the same day that my mom and sister also had an experience of their own of like smelling flowers or florals, and his soap smelled like lavender. So it was super weird, well, in a good way. But let's see what else. The tasting thing, I have in a couple instances been able to taste somebody that it's weird because I've tasted pills, I've tasted metal in my mouth like blood, I've tasted asphalt, I've tasted certain foods or sweets or cravings for things. So just pay attention to what shifts in your energy in your moment when you start tapping into somebody. All right, and we'll just do this last one. Bottom of the deck. Channeling wisdom. Ask a guide to speak through you. What do they want to share? So this is you asking your own spirit guide or ancestor that you want to work with. I oftentimes call through and work with my grandmother and her sister. Like, I feel a very strong, like, my intuitive gifts developed around the time that they started to come into my awareness more after they've passed. And so I realized, like, oh, okay, they're always around me, and they kind of help me bridge and connect into people's loved ones, like when I'm doing readings for people. So if you have somebody like that, you can always ask them for assistance, whether or not they believe in this stuff. It doesn't matter. They're there on the other side to assist and help, regardless. Or you can ask an actual spirit guide of yours or your higher self to come and speak through you. And this you can take with a journal. You can try automatic writing, where you're just grabbing a paper and pen and you're just going to let it free flow without thinking and just write down things like that come to mind. Or it doesn't have to be what comes to mind. You can just like let your hand go, start scribbling, see if something happens. Or you can do a voice memo to yourself where you just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just start, free talking, just babbling of whatever stuff comes to mind, whatever processing comes through. Even if it's like distractions or you find yourself fighting your own thoughts that keep popping in, like, that's all a sign too. This takes exercise sometimes. It's natural and subtle, but it can take exercise to quiet your own mind. you know, on a regular day. So, all right, so that is what I have for you for today. Join me on the 19th of every month, where we are practicing with photos that people have sent in of their loved ones, or if you want to have a reading done, preferably somebody that you knew personally that we can validate personal information with. Just be aware that portions of the workshop, or all of it, I don't know, we haven't decided yet, may or may not be recorded. So you just have to be okay with that and have, you know, like I said, if you don't want to put your face on it, you don't have to, but the picture of the person that you are submitting will be shown on screen. So just be aware of that. We also have some astrology workshops coming up, working with the nodes to find out your karmic blueprint, learning from past lives as well as your future soul mission this life. We'll look at that, as well as like some business and astrology and what your money houses say. And then Shannon has some in-person workshops in Wisconsin. And then I'm looking at if anyone in Vegas wants to get together for some in-person, I can try to organize and schedule those for us. I've just been doing a lot of virtual because I'm really, really busy in my other career and life and momming and all of that stuff. So the virtual seems to be working well for my schedules right now, but I do need some in-person contact soon here. That's, you know, this type of energy where we get to grow and flourish and practice together in a safe space. So I love you, miss you, and hope that I get to see you guys soon, whether online or in person.